A string of new national and state polls show Joe Biden surging. Fox News poll released this week has Biden up 9 points in Florida and neck with the president in Georgia, North Carolina, and Texas. And a New York Times Siena College poll shows the former vice president with commanding leads in states like Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. But, reminder, it is June. Joining me now, veteran Democratic strategist and host of the 2020 Politics War Room podcast, James Carville, and the president and CEO of the National Urban League, Marc Morial. He is also the author of the book, The Gumbo Coalition. Thank you both. I'm thrilled to have both of you on the show, especially together. Mr. Carville, let me start with you. We've seen a lot of polling. You know, there seems to be this, sense. Some people are saying, well, this is inevitable. How could the president overcome this lead? But there are warnings about what happened last time, sense of complacency, and you're going to have to let us know, is that your dog in the background? Because we're big fans of dogs here on this show.
But walking dogs are part of rural America, so let's go.
I love it.
Yeah.
But seriously, should Joe Biden... Is Joe Biden going to win this, do you think?
First of all, I said Thursday night on this network that there was a better chance that Trump doesn't run and he's reelected. Now it's about a 50-50 chance he doesn't run. All right? Look at the events. Look at Congressman Rose, who was just saying. I want to congratulate Congressman Liz Cheney, who came out and said this thing demands answers. What I want to know is where's Senator McSally, where's Senator Ernst, where's Senator Sullivan, all veterans, all officers, all on the Armed Forces Committee. They have stood resolutely mute because they're scared of Mitch McConnell. No one's scared of Donald Trump. He's not going to run. He's going to have the worst Monday he's ever had in his life when his story continues to explode. So I think the Biden campaign is doing everything smart. They're not risking anybody's health. The statements that they give are right on point. They're running a very smart campaign. And I really mean this. I just really doubt if Donald Trump's going to be able to run for re-election. I mean, just think of where we are now, and we're not even out of June. Think of what happened in June. I mean, it's followed by this idiot white power video that he sent out. He doesn't even understand where the country is. He doesn't know where he is. And the Russians are running circles around him. So, yes, of course, Biden is going to win, but I don't think Trump's going to run. I really don't. And I said it Thursday night, and I'll say it again.
I realize you've said this before. I mean, have you talked to anyone that gives you that indication? Why are you so convinced? He's somebody who repeatedly says, he doesn't want to be. Okay.
I talked to my own head. And by the way, one of our colleagues, Joe Scarborough, Friday morning said the same thing. By the way, Bill Kristol, one of these wonderful never-Trumpers, he's saying the same thing. I mean, sometimes in politics, you got to look around the corner. I'm not looking at the latest Florida poll. I'm watching a presidency disintegrate right in front of my eyes. And, Republicans, not McSally or Sullivan or Ernst, but Liz Cheney has got eyes. They're some of them intelligent people, actually. And they see what's happening. And Moscow Mitch is running this party. Trump is done. He's yesterday. He's so yesterday, I'm going to look at him. There's no chance he's going to win re-election. I think there's a better chance he doesn't run. I really do.
Marc Morial, do you agree?
My my man.
What's going on, Jim? It is still early. It is still early. This is June, and no one should count their chickens before they're hatched. But clearly the race has taken a different turn. The polls have dramatically shifted since the killing of George Floyd. And I think what you see the American people saying is there's no confidence in Donald Trump to lead the nation at this moment with the virus of COVID, with the racial justice issues that we're facing. This is really, I think, the shift in the polling is a reaction to how the president has governed, or not governed, I should say, over the last several months. But it is too early. I would say with great emphasis that this is a turnout election. And the winner of this election will be who can get their base plus their coalition out to vote in 2020. Donald Trump got his base out in 2016. The Democratic Party's base, particularly African Americans, did not come out The campaign was ineffective in really appealing to them in a way to create enthusiasm. So it is early. It is still early, but this polling demonstrates a dramatic shift, I think, in this election and in, I think, the sentiments of the American people.
So, yeah, to that point, I mean, Mr. Carville, I feel like there are probably a lot of Democrats who are watching your comments and saying, don't say that out loud. We still actually do have to try to win this election in the fall. Don't convince people that they don't need to show up. Are you concerned about that at all?
So, look, I usually defer to my mayor there, but we're slightly disagreeing on this, but that's okay. Democrats come to you all the time and they say, man, I love the way that you say what you think. But don't say that you think Trump is going to lose. He's not going to run. Well, those are two contradictory thoughts. I don't think he's going to run. And if he ran, I think he'd get slaughtered. So I can either tell the truth, as I see it, or I can lie to these Democrats out here. And they come up to me all the time. Oh, man, this people are nervous. And look what happened in 16. 16 is done. It's gone. It's over. It's behind us. Donald Trump more likely will not run. And if he runs, it's 100% likely that Biden gets somewhere between 350 and 415 electoral votes. That's just a fact. And I don't think most serious analysts do not really dispute me on that.
To follow up on what you said, Mr. Carville, about Russia, how serious do you think the president's inaction on this reporting from the New York Times that there are bounties on American heads that the Russians are paying in Afghanistan, the president's doing nothing?
If the reporting is right, and he knew about it, and he invited Putin to the G7, all right, there is a culpable case to make that this violates the treason provision in Article 3 of the United States Constitution. And people have to start reading Article 3, read what the definition of treason is. I'm not saying that he did it. I'm saying the story is 100% right, but the Intelligence Committee has got to call these people in and ascertain if this is right. Because if this is right, we could have this instance. So we need answers. And again, Congressman Liz Cheney is a Republican as I am a Democrat. Maybe more, wants answers too. And we have to get answers to this. And they got to come pronto, like immediately. And maybe he has a defense to this. Maybe the New York Times made it all up. I doubt it, but maybe they did. Maybe it's all fake news. But questions must be asked and answers must be given. That is where you are.
This is an example of a president who doesn't pay attention to the presidential daily briefing. And I think that's a question. Was it in the presidential daily briefing and he ignored it, or is he not reading it? This demonstrates another example of the dysfunction of the foreign policy apparatus under Donald Trump. And I think James is absolutely right. If this is in fact truthful and the president knew about it, we've got a serious additional scandal on our hands with this president. Right now, we've got COVID, which has been mismanaged. We've got racial justice issues, which are being mismanaged by the White House. This would be just another scandal at the feet of this administration. And I think the public is seeing this. And Americans want to be brought together. Americans want a president they can have confidence in. And, you know, the commander-in-chief and the president of the United States is hired to deal with crises. And in this instance, he's basically struck out in being effective in dealing with crises.
You know, just think of this.
Well, we didn't
Okay. I'm sorry, can I make one more point? He goes to West Point. He talks to these young men and women, soldiers there, and maybe he knows there's a bounty on their head when they graduate, and he didn't do anything. Think about that. How the commander-in-chief is talking to the finest young people in the United States, and he either knew or should have known that there was a bounty on their head and nothing was done about it. That's a disgrace.
All right, James Carville, Marc Morial. Frankly, I could talk to the two of you about a long list of topics. I'm so sorry that we're out of time. I really appreciate both of you coming on tonight. It's always great.